Okay, recording in
Sharon, what year was that? What year was that when the time was in your living room? Was it 81?
I have no idea. I don't know, but your hair was still red.
Yes. And Rami ran up to me in shul and said, Esav.
It just so happens Rami's right here. He's here with me now.
Oh, hello, Rami. Yeah.
Rami, you there? 1 second, he's coming. Yes. Rami wrote an amazing hesped. I really should send it to you.
I read that.
Oh, you did read it. Good.
Yeah.
Hi, Steve.
I don't see you, but hello, Rami. I'm sorry to see you guys.
If you put your view on speaker, you'll see the people who are speaking full screen.
It is. Oh, I see. Okay.
And I just want to say hello to Brian.
Can't really speak right now. Hi, Steve.
Hi. Oh, hi. Hi there. Hey, Gewalt. So many years. But you know, when I went to daven in your living room, and he came over to me and he said, you know, I know you from the Carlebach show, but I was afraid to talk to you. This was like for years because I would go to the Carlebach show, I'd sit in my corner, you know, daven and leave, and he was afraid to talk to me. And now I was in your living room. And that Motzei Shabbos, he came and we hung out and we became friends, you know.
Very, very good friends.
Yeah.
The best.
I only know one note about him.
Do we know if Judy Broad is here yet? If you see her, I'm waiting for her.
Joel is listening. Right.
Drew Tick, I'm sending you a big hug too. I wish I was sitting in your sukkah with Moish right now.
Yeah, hi Lorelai. I was at the Shiva today and had a chat with his sister. It was so sweet, and we sang, and I made sure we sang a niggin after davening, which was really nice. Baruch Hashem. But call kavod Lorelai for handling this, and Steve, as always, besides being an amazing keyboardist, recording all this great stuff.
Okay.
Lorelai, you want to say how you met Moish?
Do I want to say how I met Moish? I'll do my best. I was really, you know, I'm going to say something sad and happy. On one hand, I'm glad that none of my family members, my personal family members are here, because when at some point in one of the last trips I did to Israel, which was, I think, in November and December of 2018, I burned my journals from Israel because I'm afraid that if my kids, my adult children and grandchildren ever read them, they would feel really, really terrible for the rest of their lives, knowing how much I loved Israel and that I came back for them, for stuff that was going on for them. And I didn't ever want them to feel that. So I burned them. So I can't tell you, and that's terrible because on the other hand, a lot of people should be very, very grateful that they're burned. So I can't tell you the exact date time I met Moish, but when I moved to Nachla Oat, I made Aliyah in March of 2007, and I moved to Nachla Oat in, I think, like December, January of 2018. And I met him from the hood, but I think the first time I ever heard him was at the Makolet on the corner of Betzalel and Usishkin, where he was holding forth in an extremely loud manner regarding some extremely important point or not. And somebody mentioned that they knew him and they were kind of afraid of him. And I was like, I have to do his chart immediately to know what that is that I'm looking at, but I think it's got to be a fire sign. Of course, I was right. He was a Sagittarius like me, and he also had Leo rising and the Mars conjunct Leo. So when Moish was roaring, that's what you were looking at. And so as soon as I saw that, it's like, I love this guy. I can be his friend. And it was so. So I'm going to say 2008 in Nachlaot. Okay. The Rothbergs are here. Very good. Tuvia. Pesach, are you there?
Hey, Lorelai. Yes, I'm here.
Oh, yay. I'm so glad you're here. Well, we're gonna, how many? We have 61. Not sure how many people registered because the last time I looked, it was 50. So obviously there's more. And I don't know that I can really look. Maybe I can. But I think that we should start with our sharing. And when Judy Broad comes, we'll make sure she gets to go there quickly. Hold on, I just want to look and see if I can see how many people actually registered. Okay. Oh, 113 people. Okay. Okay, well, we're going to do our best. Okay, 113 people is a lot of people. We've got 63 here so far. So would anybody like to start this wonderful meeting with their contribution to the memories of our Moish?
Sure.
Okay, Yosef.
Yeah, it's the most Moish thing you could do is just jump in and start talking.
That's right.
I feel like he'd want us to start with a song.
I totally agree.
La, 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 He liked giving the story over with that song. It was one of the ones he would go, anything he'd give over very deeply with his whole heart. And that was such a part of the framing of Yerushalayim in his story, what are you guys online for? We're going to Yerushalayim, I met him at a rainbow gathering. I just saw he had like a hemp little pocket thing. It was my first rainbow gathering in Jerusalem in 2000. And I just making conversation. I'm like, hey, that's a very good fabric, he said. And he said, yes, and in all its forms. And then very aggressively pulled out a pipe, lit it very demonstratively, and then just started asking. And I feel like the main Torah he was trying to give over was about how to listen while asking, how to notice the other. And it's ironic because we think of Moish as someone who's giving over maybe more than listening, but actually so much of the Torah he really wanted to give over from Shlomo. So much of the Chiddush of the Torah was seeing people's eyes, was noticing the room, right? Being conscious. And I spent years after that trying to just learn at his feet, trying to learn all of his Torah, because I think a lot of us who grew up in Frumkeit are very disturbed by the things that seem deeply wrong, and it's very confusing. It seems like someone's made a terrible mistake, and just accepted money they shouldn't have accepted. And so much of the shock and bracha of meeting Moish and hearing his Torah, which he never really tried to talk about as if it was his Torah. He was always giving it over as if it was Shlomo's Torah, as if it was Rabbi Nachman, But he really seemed to not want to have to compromise on the thing that let it be at all. And it's really hard to do that. And he was always an inspiration for at least even trying, at least seeing how much you could find a way to be a kli for the real thing. And it was very hard to learn the right lessons from him because so much of giving it over really does depend on who you are, the kind of small we are and the kind of big we are, the kind of quiet we are, the kind of loud we are. More than anything else, I think he really wanted us to understand how much we should listen to each other and the kids, more than anything else. It seemed like so much of the avoda was hearing beyond ourselves and just seeing past a little bit to how much Hashem is there in the eyes of the guy at the bar, one time when I was a kid, when I was like 20, and I just kept thinking of Torahs, trying to think and put together good Torahs. And when I'd share them with someone, just wouldn't really change anything. And I asked him about it, and he just laughed and scoffed and just looked me in the eye and took me on a walk to the liquor store. And we bought some wine and said, just look in the eyes of the guy selling the wine. Look how much he wants to share. Look how much he wants to share. And I think that is the base Torah we come back to, the base Torah that brings us back away from just stories and ideas, and conclusions, theologies, just back to how much the avoda is just to see each other and be there with each other, which feels harder and harder, the further away we all are from each other. I lived with him for, I think, at least 2 years and was very challenged. I think we were all very challenged by the feedback loop a little bit, A dear friend of ours, Shosh Weiland, used to describe how much the thing he was going over was so much bigger than him. And he didn't always like being confronted by that. He would be so humble about how much bigger it was and how much we are really just so lucky to have any of this and be identified with any of this and ride any of this into any of the heavens that we get to go. And then it's very hard when we're confronted with what it asks us to do and be and change. He was the first one to acknowledge me, a sort of rift within the community about how from to be and what kind of from to be, and what kind of tshuva and what kind of clarity actually serves and actually is true. And he described talking to Shalom Brat about, how much Shlomo was ever enough and how much there's something more we need that doesn't seem quite anywhere, and it seemed like Rav Shalom's conclusion was that a lot of that is in, Tanya and just the disciplines. And I don't think Moish was ever happy about that. I think Moish really wanted to find the redemption in Eretz Yisrael and Am Yisrael. And I wonder where and how much we can see each other inside of all these hopes. But I appreciate forever how much he really made it seem like that was the only thing worth doing, trying to see each other, trying to be there with each other. And again, it's so hard because there's so much us in the way. I got to spend a little time with him near the end after the stroke, and it was really sweet. A lot of the sort of frustration and I think judgment was gone. But every second, every interaction, he wanted it to be something very holy to everybody. Walk down the hall. And it's one of the things he described having learned from Shlomo just walking down a crowded street where everyone is trying to walk past you so fast, and just make eye contact with everybody. And just like, maybe a smile, maybe a nod, but something just to be there with them. Kind.
Thank you, Yosef. Baruch Hashem. Shkoyach. You guys, we've got 70 people here. Amazing, 70. The 70 bulls of Sukkot. Okay. Who would like to go next?
I'll volunteer.
Okay.
So, I met Moshe.
Wait, Leon, we can't see your face very much, just your forehead.
Let me see. Here, let me see if I can slump down or if I can move this a little bit.
You can move the camera down a little bit and you
There we
can
go. Let's see. Let me make this bigger. The pictures that are showing the faces are very compressed. I don't know why that is. That isn't usually the case when I'm on Zoom.
That's okay
Can you see me now? Is it good now?
Well, I can see you from your cheekbones up. So what you should do is
Cheekbones up. Hold on a sec.
Yes, lower. Good. Oh, you almost got it there.
How is that?
Just sit up a little bit.
I am sitting up fully. When I touch it, it does.
Okay.
It's on the monitor.
Then just do the best you can. Do the best you can.
How is that?
Great. Perfect.
Okay, good. So I met Moshe at or very shortly after Reb Shlomo's Levaya at the Carlebach Shul in Manhattan. And me living here and Moshe living in Israel, obviously we didn't get to see each other all that much, only on occasion. And yet every time I met him, it was like I was his best friend. He was just so warm and so sweet and so nice. I loved him. And I'll tell you the story that he told, not just me, I think he told it to a whole group of us, about Reb Shlomo, which I think reflects on him, the fact that he chose this story to tell. He said he originally, when he first met Reb Shlomo, I think at the House of Love and Prayer, he said he didn't know if, was Reb Shlomo for real or not. Which you can always wonder, is he for real or not? And he said he knew that he was for real when one time at the House of Love and Prayer, there was a whole bundle of people in, and this fellow who reeked of body odor came into the place and everybody moved aside and I know what that's like, because there was a fellow who came occasionally at the Carlebach Shul. I couldn't sit, and I didn't see anybody who could sit within 10 feet of that fellow. It was just so reeking of, you wanted to throw up. He said, this fellow comes in and everybody parts way because they don't want to be anywhere near him. And he walks in and Shlomo walks right up to him and hugs him and say, "Holy brother, so nice to see you." And that the fact that Moshe was telling that story about Reb Shlomo reflects on Moshe. That showed him that Reb Shlomo was real, which also to me says that Moshe was real. Anyway, that's my story. That's it.
Baruch Hashem, that was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for such a nice share. Okay, people, you know what I wish
I can do it.
Okay, go ahead, Ruthie.
Go ahead. But what were you going to say, Lorelai?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've known Moish probably around 30, 40 years, something like that. He was just always there. There's no one moment where I met Moish. He was just there in my life, coming and going from rainbow to rainbow. I just wanted to share one small thing is that like I'm a therapist, and over the many years, Moish has sent me people and found money to pay for their therapies. And when I didn't want to get paid, there were times I didn't, but there were times that he just insisted, and he would raise the money or give his own money to send many people that he felt needed something to get help. And he cared so much. And even in this last year, he was calling me. He said, listen, my friend's been mitzukah. He's having a hard time. Please, we speak with him. And he was just so full of compassion and love for so many people. And the chesed that he did, he was kind of, and he did it very quietly, and he did it very tsanuali, and he didn't want recognition from it. He just really wanted to help people. And I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. That's beautiful.
Baruch Hashem. I love that you said that, Ruthie, because sometimes when we think of Moish, quiet is not the first word that might come to mind, but you're right you're so right about him, about the way that he would do chesed. He didn't announce himself as what was going on at all. Yom Tov Glazer, I see that you're unmuted. Is that because you were wanting to go next?
Yeah. My wife and I wanted to be involved a little bit. Lorelai, you're amazing. We haven't heard you for so long. Oh my gosh.
I'm always there. I'm disembodied, but I'm there all the time.
So I just wanted to share two things. Maybe my wife has something to share. But one of the fun things, we were the few people from the Chevre that lived in the actual Yiddish-speaking shtetl of Nach, in full Yiddish, like real old school, and in their Yiddish schools. And then Moish just walk in the door, usually without knocking. He would just come in and make himself right at home. And then as you said, he was the fire sign. He was usually pretty fiery about something or other. And but he showed up just all the time. And so our kids who were raised in in the shtetl had these like major Moish doses. And our oldest daughter, whose name is Ruthie, who was really raised in the system much more than the younger ones, who are, much more liberated, I guess you could say, considering we've run out of some level of energy for the whole Haredi world we're living in. Anyway, Ruthie, Moish just loved Ruthie. Ruthie was like his life. And he would come in and Ruthie just would like want to curl up into a little ball and disappear, because this just had no idea what to do with him. Yeah, this chubby guy just would come in and full on hippie and just sing her praises from when he walked in till when he left. And he continued that all the way till she was even married. From when she was born till she was married, he would do this. And she was used to it, though. By the time she was a teenager, she knew that this was going to happen when Moish walked in. But one thing I wanted to share was that I just asked my daughter, who's 15 now, who was also born into having Moish come to the house. She says, and I just want to share this because Moish taught us this song that I think is worth singing. Whoever wants to sing along, he taught us a lot of songs, but this song, we had my whole family, meaning all our Yiddish kids in the kitchen, and Moish, I don't know if he just started singing it or he was going to teach it to us, but he taught it to us, and I've been singing it ever since, and I know everyone sings it, and there's just something about this song. But Moish did teach us the song, and I'll tell you the truth, I didn't remember that Moish taught us the song because it's such a classic that could have been picked up anywhere. But my 15-year-old daughter, who I took to dinner tonight, told me that, Moish taught us Yisborach Shimcha. Yisborach Shimcha befi kol chai, Tomid le'olam v'od. Yisborach Shimcha befi kol chai. That kol chai really grab me. Tomid, tomid, le'olam v'omed. Yisborech shimcha befi kochai. Tomid, tomid, le'olam v'omed. Yisborech shimcha befi kochai. Tomid, tomid, le'olam v'omed. Yisborech shimcha befi תמיד תמיד ליועלם ועד יסבורך שמך בפי כוחי תמיד תמיד ליועלם ועד יסבורך שמך בפי כוחי תמיד תמיד ליועלם ועד יסבורך שמך בפי כוחי תמיד תמיד ליועלם ועד. And I just want to share, and also Shalom Rob, I haven't seen you forever. But one thing I want to say was that a lot of how I became who I became in my career was because of all kinds of feelings of being socially not enough as a kid, and I became this like larger than life personality. But that was easy to poke a hole in. And I just want to say that Moish, who was like covered in needles, you know, and when you're the balloon, you're gonna feel him. He definitely poked at me when I was a young married, but I think the biggest hexture that my inner work had caught up with my outer facade was when Moish stopped poking at me. I can say that I have smicha, you know, from the Rabbanut and stuff, but I say it's even more meaningful to me to not get poked at by Moish anymore. Meant that maybe my inner world had caught up a bit with my outer deal. And anything else you want to share, Mommy, before we give it over?
You know, Moish wasn't well for the last few years, and he wasn't so in touch and didn't want to be so in touch. An occasional email.
You have to speak up because
sorry.
Yeah.
But even so, it just warmed my heart knowing Moish was up there in the Golan. I suppose it's warmed my heart now knowing that he's up there in Shemayim, but I'm sad he's not up there anymore in the Golan. And when I woke up to news this morning about what was going on in Sfas and in the north, I guess altogether, my first thought was, yeah, well, we don't have Moish learning and sharing sweet Torahs now. And it says there's a real loss there for Klal Yisrael. And Moish, all of us who knew Moish knew Moish. Moish was Moish, but you could really say about Moish was Moish. And whatever he was, his wit was great. His puns were just hilarious. His barbs were, I would say, well placed. And he loved sweet and real Torah, and he shared it, and he learned it, and he walked with it, and that's missing from our world now. So I think we all have to. It would be wise and probably right of each of us to say, what can I take on a little bit of Moish to strengthen in this world right now. And maybe we all feel really blessed. We are really blessed to have known Moish and been part of a really grand circle, and we still are part of that circle. And let's share it onwards. Share the Torah, share the love, share the friendship. And may Moish have an Leah neshama. If someone knows his father's name, I'd be really happy to hear it. And yeah, we should just share good news.
It's Avigdor Benyamin, his father's name.
Oh wow.
Moshe Pesach ben Avigdor Benyamin. Should have an Elias Neshama. He should be Melitz Yosher for all of us, for all of Klal Yisrael.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Gewalt. That was so beautiful.
Amen.
I love what you said about taking on a little bit of Moish in one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yes, a million times. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing. It's so good to see both of you driving through.
Thank you.
Are you driving through Yerushalayim?
We're going to see our son in Yeshiva in Beitar.
Oh my gosh.
We
Okay.
brought him a new ripstick and a poker set.
And chocolate chip cookies.
Yes.
Well, we love you so much. Baruch Hashem. Okay, my friends, who is ready to go next and share about Moish? I feel like
can I jump in?
Yes, you can, Shmuel. I just wanted to say I feel like I should be playing little bits of music in between people, but then we'll be here for 8 or 10 hours. I'm good for about 6 hours. We'll see. Keep going. Okay, Shmuel.
So I met Moish, I don't even remember when, but I was at Bad Ayin. I taught at Bad Ayin when he was there, and he kept pushing me to come to Rainbow, and finally I made it in 2000 to Idaho, 2000, 2001, I don't remember exactly, but it was for me very strange. I grew up in a very, let's put it this way, non-hippie household. And for me, the whole experience was pretty overwhelming. And I couldn't figure out Moish, of all people, right? Because on one hand, he had this incredible Torah and this incredible way about him, and this obvious, immediate connection with people. Like it was tangible. He would meet someone on the trail, and suddenly you'd see like two incredible friends as if they'd been friends forever. And so I couldn't figure him out. And then there's this one story one night that really sort of opened my eyes to what he was all about, and also let me know that behind his entire persona of being at Rainbow Gathering and being like the Rainbow Rebbe, and like there was also something pretty grounded about him. So what happened was this guy came into camp, into Jerusalem camp, and he was tripping, and Moish, he sat down by Moish, and Moish was talking to him, and they were having this really intense conversation. And this guy offered Moish these like seeds that he promised would like bring him enlightenment, and Moish took it very seriously, and he accepted this gift, this offering from this guy, and they talked about it, and this guy was like convinced that he had given Moish this incredible secret to real vision, and when the guy left, I said, I looked at Moish, I was like, what are you going to do with those? He's like, and he looks at me totally, all of a sudden his whole persona changed. Like, you think I'm going to take those? What do you think, I'm crazy? Like, it was like, and I was like, oh, okay. So, but he was being authentic. That was what was so special, I think. He was able to be completely authentic, yet at the same time, he really did have his feet on the ground in a very maybe different way than people generally are in the world, but from that moment on, I don't know, something about that story. I was like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. He's not crazy. He is a personality who connects to people. And I would always tell Moish, if I ever won the lottery, Moish, I would just pay you to go out into the world and be Moish. So that didn't happen, and I miss him tremendously. And thank you for this opportunity, Lorelai.
Thank you so much. And you know what? I bless you to win the lottery now. And the reason why you haven't so far is because I'm going to say it, and this is the truth. Part of who Moish was a test for the rest of us. And that's an ongoing thing, but especially in the later years, and how much help he needed. And along the way, and the various emergencies that have happened over the years, he's so much of who he is also just a test for how each of us reacts to us. So there's been a lot of tzedakah along the way that was meant for us to give. So if you had won the lottery, we wouldn't have been able to give to him. So now you're clear to win the lottery. Okay. All right. We're looking forward to that. Rob Bonham, you want to go next? Yeah.
Yeah, my internet keeps dropping, so I want.
Okay. Welcome, my sweet Rob. Go ahead.
So I didn't know Moish that well. I saw him in Jerusalem, and I saw him at Rainbow. He seemed at home in both places, but I think a little more at Rainbow. That was my impression. And I wrote in the chat that I think at the end he felt very alone, and my heart really went out to him for that. And I don't think he realized how many people he touched. And I think it's so important for us to let people know that we care about them and that we're thinking of them and all these things, while they're alive, while we're alive. And so in that vein, I want to say from Berkeley to all of you, but especially to everyone in Israel, we are thinking of you, we are praying for you, and we love you. And our hearts are really with you.
Amen, amen. Thank you, Rob. So true. I think I'm looking at in the waiting room, Akiva Porat, who I believe is Moish's nephew, is trying to join. Sometimes when people try to join, they get knocked off and they have to come back again. So we'll wait for him to come in.
While we're waiting, can I just say that
yes. Hi, Gilly.
Hi. So I've been going to the Shiva house here in Yerushalayim, and if anyone is around, or if you can fly in from America very quickly to help out with the minyan tomorrow morning, okay, 7:30. It's a big help. And also, I've been copying from Facebook a lot of your stories that you've been sharing and giving it at the Shiva house, and it's really appreciated. So if you want to send it to me directly or just post it on the Facebook page, and hopefully, I'll be compiling that. And I don't know if anyone else is planning this. We have like enough for a book or like 10 books of all these stories that you guys are all sharing. So it's really tremendous.
Right. Baruch Hashem. So the situation at the Shiva house in Yerushalayim is people needed for minions, right?
Especially the mornings. The mornings are tough. 7:30 in the morning. It's in Talpiot. And if any guys can make it, even one or two could make a big difference tomorrow morning.
Okay, great. Do we have the nephew of Moish in the house yet? Akiva? I don't know if he made it in. I think he's going to drop.
I'm happy to share a word.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Aura. I met Shlomo in 1988, and I came to the Carlebach Shul in New York. I think it was 1989 for the first time, and Moish was at the door. And often you come to a shul or synagogue, and you walk in, you don't know people, and Moish greeted me with so much love. He was such an integration of a holy chassid and a rainbow family believer in such a strong way. And as soon as I entered into the shul, he said to me, "Welcome home, sister." And it was just so, warm and loving and inviting and welcoming. And I feel like that's so much of what Moish was. So community oriented and, just really wanting to bring that love to the world. And at the same time, as people have said, he had this sort of watery side of being so warm and loving. And he also had this real fiery side that I guess, Shlomo would call like holy chutzpah. And he would kind of call out when somebody was, I don't know, not being authentic or not being, not resonating with the Torah that he saw. And, there was just such a strength to it to be so honest with yourself in that way. And he always had, what Shlomo would call like a cash Torah kind of thing. He always had a beautiful Torah at hand to give over, and always wanted to bring the group up. And he'll be deeply missed. He was just such a core of the Shlomo Chevre in so many ways, and both in America and here in Israel. And anyways, I'll miss him, and I know we'll all miss him so deeply. And Lorelai, thank you so much for organizing this event so that we could have a kind of community Shiva to be together. Thank you.
Hashem, thank you for those beautiful words. That's gorgeous. Gorgeousness. I can just see him welcoming you in and insisting and to make you feel like you are the most special person there. He definitely had that gift. I just want people to know I'm not necessarily seeing everything in the chat because I'm managing the other thing here. So if I'm missing something, I'm sorry. Okay, I think I saw, I don't know. Did I see Shlomo Katz come in? Are you here, Shlomo?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, Holy.
Hey, sister.
Baruch Hashem.
Hey, Lorelai.
Would you
Hi,
like
everyone.
to do some sharing? Maybe you'll play a little music. I don't know.
You know, I actually, this is going to sound weird. I actually don't have a guitar on me where I am. But I really enjoyed hearing from everyone else, and I want to hear from others as well. Really hard day. I don't know. It's really hard, but feeling the love from everyone is so soothing. Share something very fast. The first minute that I met Moish, someone told him that I'm the son of this chazan of Shalom Katz. My father was the chazan of one of these big straight Beverly Hills jewels, and in walks this hippie that just came down from Oregon, from Rainbow, and he hears my father's name and he starts to imitate in a holy way my father's Kaddish for Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur that he remembered from 1974. And he starts crying as he was saying the way he remembered my father saying Kaddish when my father was a guest chazan in his parents' shul, Young Israel of Kew Garden Hills, 6 years before I was even born. He instantly, and I could tell he wasn't making any of this up. How would he have known? But he instantly made that family kesher like the first minute that I met him, and it never ended. It was always like that. But I think that it was like that with with everyone, even people that he didn't necessarily know, family members. It was a family kesher from the moment you met him. And that is such a beautiful, incredible way of spending your time in this world, making people feel like family, for real. So I know that I Baruch Hashem, had the to say something by the actual Leviah, but I would love to just hear from others, because I know that so many people have so many things to say, but I love all of you, and so many of you I know really because of Moish, although I never called him Moish. He called me Saul, and I called him Herb. Those of you remember, I called him Herbert, and he called me Saul. So my brother Herb, one big mishpacha. I love you all very much. Good Shabbos and good Purim.
Good Purim. I feel like he left in Chodesh, the double Adar that we have this year, like was very Purim of him. And then I think about him and Shalom brought of blessed memory for Purim together. Gaval, it's going to be the redemption, no doubt.
Yeah.
Shlomo, what you said about the way that Moish made everybody feel like family instantly, that instant kesher, that like, it wasn't like getting to know you. It was like right there, that was instant familial family loving intimacy, that what we call the Chevre, the worldwide Chevre, the Shlomo Chevre, the Grateful Dead Chevre, the Rainbow Chevre. It's like three circles that intersect each other in a big time way. Moish was at the center of that. He was the centrifuge. He was twirling, he was whirling, he was spinning like a spinner at and making the energy go round and round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mamash.
Okay. Yeah. Moish was real, says Yehuda Katz. Yehuda Katz, sweet friend. When you drove me and Moish down from Sfat to Yerushalayim one time after a klezmer many years ago, and he had a cassette of somebody in court, and he insisted that we listen to it the entire way home. I'm trying to remember who it was. Are you there? Would you like to say something, Yehuda? Let me see.
I'm enjoying listening.
Okay. Baruch Hashem. Good to know that you're there. Who else would like to say something here? I think that. Wait a second.
I'll share something if there's
Okay,
nobody else.
Great.
I'd like to say something. I was living with Markin for about 4 years, and he quite often would talk about Moish, and I'm trying to, and right now we're having a number of people here at Markin's house going through rainbow things that we want to preserve in climate controlled storage. And because Markin would speak fondly of Moish, I had Carla and Sparrow show me how to get on Zoom. So right now we have Red and Now and Sparrow and Carla going through all of these boxes and boxes and boxes that Markin, being a good information person in 30 different gatherings, and cleaning up and having a whole shop full of didgeridoos and everything in the world that he picked up and didn't throw away. We're going through all of that, and I put on the Zoom because I wanted to learn more about Moish. And I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to meet him. I went to the first 72, 73, 74 gatherings, and on a rainbow school bus, and got to meet people like Medicine Story and Flunker and Sparrow and all. But my Yiddish name is Barucha. My Yiddish name is actually after two grandmothers, Bela and Golda. But everyone, for some reason, thought I looked gypsy when I was younger, so it became gypsy. And I'm really encouraged by the whole Hebrew community of an Israeli community of rainbow-like people, and the philosophy of tolerance. And I heard that Moish started a kosher kitchen, and that's very interesting. I would think it probably was just vegetarian that would make it easy, but I'm really enjoying listening to memories of him, and that's all I really wanted to say.
Thank you for sharing, and I'm really glad that the Rainbow family is putting together a sort of archive. That's what it sounds like you're doing.
Yes.
There.
So
yes. I have your email. I'll email you. Let's be in touch so that we know what parts of Moish are part of that archive, because it could be in future days that people will study this movement of life that happened around our time, right? And this could be part of it.
Yeah. Great.
All right. Thank
Shalom.
you so much. Shalom. Pesach, are you there?
Yes,
okay.
I'm here.
Go for it, hon.
Oh man, wow. So when I first met Moish, I was in an interesting place in my life. I had just made Aliyah, and Moish was sort of like the eclectic mix of just the right person that I was longing to connect with. Up until that point, I was in college for about 6 years working on a bachelor's and a master's, and I went to a cool class about spirituality in medicine. And it was through that class that I started reading Reb Zalman and Ram Dass, and just it was an awakening time, I think, in my life, when I started to question the path I was on and if that was where I wanted to go. And also Reb Shlomo posthumously kind of came into my life around that time as well, and there was more Yiddishkeit in the mix. And I was trying to put it all together because, you know, growing up as the son of a Reform rabbi with a mother whose yichus, you know, was connected to her, you know, my great grandfather was a Talmid Chacham of Cook, and like be Jewish but not too Jewish. And I went to a religious day school, so none of it seemed to kind of fit anywhere. I just didn't feel moved by any of it. And when I met Moish, it was like he was a conglomeration of all of those parts and pieces that I was encountering within myself. And he put it together in such a way where it affirmed everything that I was hungry for. Really, I mean, it's like he got it. And I'm sure that this resonates for a lot of people. And it just really, it showed me that real MS isn't something that you learn for the first time. It's something that you, all of a sudden, when you hear it again, it's like you've known it your entire life, and this person is just bringing it right in front of you. And I think that that's what Moish was really good at, really, really good at. And even in the hard points of life, I mean, he was with me through it. I felt like he dropped everything just to be there. And I found tremendous sanctuary in his presence. There was that side. There's also this side, especially in the later years, where it was really hard. It was very painful because I wanted so much to reach out. And I did. And I often got chewed out or whatever it was at the time. But, you know, I think like when you love somebody, so you see past that stuff, you're able to forgive. So just to wrap it up, yeah, Moish is the last few hours before he left the world. I'm grateful that I had the privilege to be with him, to thank him for everything that he had done, what he carried me through and shared with me along the way. And I'm very confident that we're going to meet again. And I just got to say thank you, Moish. And it's okay to let go. It's okay to go. We're okay. And you have so many people waiting for you in the next world also. And Gewalt, like, you know, as Reb Shlomo Katz mentioned at the Levaya, that, you know, we know you're running to Reb Shlomo, and he said on second thought, hey, there's nowhere to run because Reb Shlomo is right with you, Moish. He's right next to you. So anyway, L'chaim, thank you for the privilege of sharing, and good Purim, good Purim.
Good Purim. It's only 11:57 a.m. where I am, so this is iced coffee, but in theory, I'm with you. Pesach, wait a second, Pesach.
Pesach Sheni.
That's Pesach Sheni. Oof.
Well, Shlishi, I guess Moish Pesach Geller. He'd be the Pesach Shlishi. I'd be happy to take Shlishi with these two. I would love to share my heart. I guess I'll start with like what I find to be like the most special thing about him. First of all, greetings from Jerusalem, and it's so amazing to see such faces and such neshamas to be together. I want to first of all actually second what Rob Bonham, my friend, said, how important it is that we celebrate each other while we're having our souls and our bodies intact. Yeah. Etc. I just want to point out a nakuda because I want us to all be blessed by this nakuda, but like Moish had this special quality that lives in everybody to varying degrees, but to him it was so big, this drive for more, yoter, yitro, drive for beyond, to push things beyond. And it was sort of like a love drunk artist. You know, when they say that about Jimi Hendrix, that you go out to dinner with him and he had his guitar with him because he was love drunk with his purpose. And Moish was love drunk with elevating this reality, with clarifying this reality and uplifting other yids and uplifting anybody that needed uplifting. And of course, I think part of that came from our Rebbe Shlomo. So I want to just point that Nakuda out in the hopes that we have the taiva, the desire, the ratzon to get off the couch. And I was with him after he had his stroke for a third meal, and then afterwards, and I think he was fundraising at that point. And, he was making quite a ruckus in the hospital. Quite a ruckus. It was quite a scene. I hope it's not... There was a certain room he wasn't even supposed to go into, for whatever reasons. He gives me something like 800 shekels, and he's like, the girl in there, you gotta take the money and put it under her pillow. I said, Moish, don't you need money? You're fundraising. He's like, no, she needs it. Nobody comes to visit her. In a hospital, you have a stroke. You couldn't even, he's always love drunk with caring for other people. So I want to bless us all that we have that love drunkenness. Moish, it's the name of a king. And, he had the power of a king. One of the powers of a king is you get to break fences. And he was the rainbow rabbi. I met him in Idaho. What was that? I'm sure there's a 2001 or 2 or 3 or something. It was a great gathering. And I caught him, man. He was he was all in his turban and his robe by a fire, and hundreds of people, and he was telling stories about the angels, about meeting the angels on different journeys that he'd been on. And he broke fences by creating Rainbow Jerusalem Camp. And he created that possibility in us that we could sort of fuse those different aspects of reality, of being diverse and also being focused. And so I want to thank him for being a bridge person. We all carry different sparks and pieces of each other. And I know for so many of us, he was a groundbreaker. I'll share one last story, and then maybe I'll share a little Grateful Dead song, because he was always, he would stop anything just to listen. Pesach, you got to hear this. You got to hear this. Just listen, and it was like sacred time with him. He actually, I eventually got smicha from Reb Shalom, Zichrono Livracha, but he actually, it was Moish pushed me accidentally or on purpose into my first Jewish leadership role. It was at a rainbow gathering at the Hanoi Cafe. I think it was in, somebody tell me where that was even. New Mexico, maybe? New Mexico. And I knew that the great rainbow rabbi was there. And we were all, there's a Jewish kosher vegan campus. I said, well, let's make a big Shabbos. We'll bring the great rabbi and we'll cook and it'll be and so I go, he had a crew of Germans that he was rabbiing. There was this crew of 10 Germans that were chassids there. And I said, Moish, will you come? We're going to make a big dinner, a big Shabbos. We want the rainbow rabbi. You in? He said, yeah. Days went by. Hanoi sent me to every camp, to Warriors of the Light, Love and Ovens, Nick at Night, whatever. They sent me all over to invite all the other camps. I was my name's a Shtadlan. I'm like a Shaliach. They sent me as a Shaliach to go get the other camps. And so I went up to the other camp. I said, excuse me, I'm from this and such a camp. I used rainbow terms. I said, we're doing a Friday night ceremony. We're going to be conjuring the Shekinah. A Shekinah ceremony on Friday night. And we're trying to break the Rainbow Guinness record. We're trying to make the world's biggest rainbow hora dance. And we're trying to get 500 people. And, Warriors, I know you're busy on a Friday, but could you come over? There's going to be really good food. There might be a little bit of wine. This rainbow rabbi's going to be there. Everyone's like, sure, that sounds great. Friday night, we'll be there. Anyway, I kept going back to the kitchen. Rivki Sack was running the kitchen that day. She said, Pesach, how many challahs should I make? How much should I cook for? I said, I don't know, just double. Whatever you have, we're going to need double. Just keep doubling. I kept running back and double. And it was getting close to Shabbos, and there's no rainbow rabbi. So they said, Pesach, is he coming? So I run over to Love and Ovens or something, and he's sitting there in his glory with these German chassids, you know. And I said, Moish, you know, so Shabbos is coming. You want to go do a mikvah? He said, Pesach, I'm doing something with these Germans tonight. We're doing another dinner somewhere else. I said, Moish, I just literally invited like the whole rainbow gathering, you know. He said, Pesach, David, you got this, man. It's all in the book. Just start here and go there. I said, what? He said, you got it. It's all in the book. It'll be great. And we were so nervous. I came back. I said, the rainbow rabbi's not coming. I said, we're all the rainbow rabbi tonight. And I don't know if Zev's here, but we had quite a humdinger. It was quite a humdinger. It was ridiculous and ecstatic and holy. And Shequina did show up, and there was enough food for everybody. So in a way, may he continue to give us sacred pushes that'll be clear to us and unclear to us. And I'll sing a little bit. I'll sing just a little bit of the Broke Down Palace. Because he wanted so much for this world to be beyond where it even is today. And so I'm committed to making it a fixed up palace, and I hope you are too. Gonna leave this broke down palace on my hands and my knees. I will roll. So I'm gonna make myself a bed by the waterside. In my time, I will roll. It's like in a bed by the waterside. I'll lay my head and listen to the river sing sweet song to rock my soul. Farewell, Moish, we love you more than words can tell. So listen to the river sing sweet songs to rock your soul. Love you all. Let's all celebrate each other. Let's see the nakudas, the sparks, and sing about each other and make Zoom calls about each other. Love y'all. Love from Jerusalem.
Love right back from all of us to you, and thank you so much. That was the best. Love it. Love you guys. David Fried has been raising his hand because he understands the assignment. So, David, are you there? Hello.
Space key.
There you are.
Hey, okay. So, wow, it's so amazing to be with Chevre and sing Grateful Dead songs and think about my brother Moish and to see all your faces. It's unbelievable. Everyone from Eden Village Camp to Pardes Chana is here, and from Nachlaot and all my friends from around the world. So good. So I just wanted to share this moment. It's the day when we have the Levaya in the streets for Reb Shlomo in the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and every holy beggar and every holy Hippolyta and every so-called straight Jew is there, and we're all there, and we're pressed up against each other, and we don't know what to do because our rebbe is lying in his aron, and Zalman Schachter is there, and Hadassah Carlebach is there, and a lot of us are there to see our rebbe off. So all of a sudden, his aron takes off, and we all walk towards the West Side Highway to go towards the airport where he's coming, where Reb Shlomo's Aron is going to Yerushalayim. So I'm on a bus with my wife Toby, and Nassan Schaefer is there, becoming one of our best friends forever. And everyone is being each other's best friend, like we all need to do every day anyway, but sometimes a holy person will remind us. So we're all singing all the way to JFK Airport, and then we're allowed somehow to get off the buses and somehow bring Reb Shlomo's Aron to the El Al plane that's carrying him there. And who is standing there at the gate to welcome us all and lift us up? It's Brother Moshe Geller. And our brother Moshe Geller, who, when I saw him before, I didn't quite see how beautiful he was and how holy he was. I just saw like a holy traveler who was looking also for solace and for peace and for love and for lifting up from Reb Shlomo and from all his friends. But all of a sudden, I got it. I could tell. Reb Shlomo had made Moshe Geller into a prince. He had made him into a prince. And Moshe Geller was standing there at the airport with Reb Shlomo's Aron about to be loaded into the plane to go to his final resting place on Har HaMenucha. And Moshe Geller was standing there, and he opened up his arms, and everyone who was there, and there was like, I don't know, 30 or 50 or 100 or 200 of us, he just surrounded us with his arms and with his words, and he just kept talking and singing and leading us and telling us that he would always be there with us, and that wherever we were, we would always be together as Reb Shlomo's Chevre, and as Reb Shlomo would just keep on guiding us. And now we had his prince, Moshe Geller. And Moshe, every time I saw him in Yerushalayim or anywhere, he would just start up at that same moment of surrounding me with his love, surrounding me with his presence and his hope, even though it wasn't like a false hope. It was like on part of Moshe, he was like struggling, and part of Moshe, he was flying and sailing and reminding us how to fly and how to sail and how to love. So I bless you, Brother Moish, and I bless all of us, and please bless me back too, that we remember how to fly, how to sail, and that we're all rainbow rabbis tonight. We're all rainbow rabbis now. We're all, if Moshe is a prince of Reb Shlomo, he's also making us all princes and princesses, just as Reb Shlomo would have done, but he started with Moshe, because Moshe knew how to give it over to us so well. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim.
David, unbelievable. Thank you. So beautiful. Michael Chesson is raising his hand. Can you unmute yourself, hon?
Yeah, there I am. Okay. Anybody think of Moish as rebbe and we said Prince? Anybody think of him as a quarterback? We had a moment in our minyan of Reb Shlomo minyan, Carlebach minyan 25 years ago. We lost a dear member, the son of Michael Brand. Did you hear me? We lost a young man, 18 years old, and then we were sitting Shiva in the Brand household. And then at the moment of going into Shabbos, Moish was rebbe, or he was quarterback, meaning that we had a huddle, and he said to us that now, as we go from the Shiva house to Kabbalat Shabbat, in davening, we may dance less, but we might dance more. And those words have resonated for me for at least 25 years. So, Moish, you're holy, and we love you, and you resonate forward.
It's beautiful. Tuvia and Panthea, are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
We're
Hi, everybody.
Tuvia and Panta Aronson from predeceased. I wrote my like deeper impressions somewhere on Facebook. They're there. So I met Moish. I think, I met Moish formally and officially the first time at Rainbow in Utah in 2003. But I do remember him coming to the Happy Minyan in LA, where I was born and raised. My family's Iranian. I was born in Persian Tehrangeles, which is, includes Beverly Hills. And he always referred to LA as Smele or Lo Aleinu. And it was just awesome to encounter Moish Pesach Geller in the middle of, or not middle of, but Beverly Hills adjacent at the Happy Minyan. And at Rainbow, he did a wedding. He rainbow rabbied a wedding for this hippie couple that were not Jewish. But it was like the sweetest Jewish wedding you ever saw. He brought like a Moshe wedding to Rainbow. Was anyone there? Do any of you guys remember that? It was amazing. I'll never forget. There was like a bedekin. Oh, God. It was so awesome. Anyway, what I have just a funny story to share that I just remembered this. I had totally forgotten about it, but 20 years ago, after I came from my midrasha year to Israel and I learned at Yeshivat Simchat Shlomo, Baruch Hashem, I had to figure out another way to fund my next year in Israel, the year we got married, and I got this fellowship, this like fancy Jewish liberal, very intellectual fellowship. And they took us to meet all kinds of like, I don't know, members of Knesset and all these like, and really fancy dinners and meals. There's like a lot of that funding went into our meals. And we had funding to study anything we wanted, having to do with Judaism. And everyone was taking classes at Hebrew U and all kinds of, institutions and stuff. And I kind of asked them, I was like, you mean, and I can study anything I want? And they were like, anything. And I had come to Israel to have my soul blown, not just my mind blown. And there was Moish in Yerushalayim in Achlaot that year. And I was like, hey, Moish, want to learn? And so I got a little like chavura going in this fellowship where I don't even remember like how paying him worked out. It was some combination of like, he was like, how about you take me out to lunch? And so we got to meet in these awesome Yerushalayim restaurants every couple of weeks. And Moish would just like Moish away for like a couple of hours. And it really was the best education. He really blew our souls and cracked us up and also did a lot of moishing. And I just remember a lot of puns and spoonerisms and huff and puff and hack and sack and all of his like ishkabibbles and silly shtiot of the sort. So it was awesome. If he were here, he'd definitely crack up about how we swung that fellowship that year. Anyway, I hope I'll let Tuvia be more profound and deep than that, but
well, I guess my situation is very different because I was in the Jewish world much, and I think Moish and I found a little bit of commonality because I also come from a YU rabbi world. I don't know if any of his family here, but his dad, Alav Shalom, was very instrumental in the success of American Jewry, and he was a big deal. And I don't know, I wasn't at the speeches of the funeral, but I know some family spoke. But I hope they know that right now his dad is really, really happy, proud of him, greeting him at all the seeds of families and communities that that he inspired. I know. I don't think. I mean, our kids are from him too. 4 over here. How many more children does Moish have here on this group here? I bet you there's a whole bunch.
There's untold numbers of Moish's kids here and in this world.
And communities that were touched by him all over. Any Texas crew here? He loved you, Texas family. You know. Okay, blessings to the Texas family from Moish. And so for me, coming from I remember the first time he met me, he said, "You're like a YU boy on a little dead trip," or something like that. And quickly it became like Rav Soloveitchik merged into Kedushat Levi, Robert Hunter came into the conversation. And from then on, it was like Althea's the Shechina and Dark Stars, Botzina the Kardinuta, the light within the darkness, and Torah after Torah after Torah of blending Chassidut and the Grateful Dead like nobody had ever met. And for me, it, I guess, harmonized those two worlds of mine. And I'm forever touched by his friendship, his care, his prodding, his I also want to say that Moshe Pesach, he always talked about his name, that he couldn't stop speaking because of his name, Moshe Pesach, and that we should all merit to have a little bit of his gumption and his boundary breaking. That was his sweetness and his love and his caring. And we should all be blessed to have the light, the hidden light within the hidden light, the Adar Aleph, the hidden Adar should be revealed to us in the deepest places of our heart. And V'yeda kol pa'ul, V'yeda kol pa'ul. That was one of his favorite songs. V'yeda kol pa'ul, V'yevin kol yitzur ki ata yitzarto. He was really dreaming of a day when there'll be universal one consciousness of the unity of energy of the universe. And now he's in it, he's married in it, and these are his Sheva brachot in a way of his cosmic wedding, and his light should live on, Geula, redemption now, amen.
Amen. Amen. I love that. It's his Sheva brachos right now, Gewalt.
I just want to say one thing. When we first got married, he gave me marital advice. And it was good marital advice. And Bezrat Hashem, he's meeting his soulmate somewhere in Shamayim, and he gets to apply it himself. But I'm just going to share it, and maybe we can all refresh our marriages, or if there are any young marrieds out there. He said, every morning, look at your husband and have a morning moment and ask him to marry you all over again. So that's it.
I love that. For somebody who never got married, he had a whole world full of marital advice for people. We all know that. Moish was like, Moish looked at you like he saw your potentiality, right? He didn't see what was happening in the moment as much as he saw what your potential was as a person. So to me, it's like he addressed people at that place of who they were in the highest and most cosmic and fulfilled sense. And then it was a process of growing towards that. Your drosh there made me think that. Okay, Judah Horwitz is raising his hand. Can I say hello?
Hey everyone, just a quick story. I really only met Moish twice. First time was at the 2012 Tennessee gathering, and then again at Utah in 2014. But when I showed up at the Tennessee gathering with my friend Tuvia, straight from Brooklyn, big yarmulke on, we thought we were going to like a music festival that featured Grateful Dead cover bands. And then we showed up in Tennessee, and it's not exactly what it was. And we marched into the woods, had no idea that there was a Jew camp or anything like that. And somebody told us, eventually we figured it out, to get to Jerusalem camp / Om Shalom at that point. And we walked in and settled in, and Moish came strolling into camp a couple hours after we had set up our tents. And he was not very welcoming to Vienna. He was like, "What are you guys doing here? You guys need to go back to yeshiva. You don't belong here." And over the next day or two, I saw him greet other people with a lot more kindness. And me and Tivia were pretty off put by this. We were like, "What is this?" Tivia actually ended up taking his advice and is now a rabbi in Aish Torah. So he made it. But I think it was the night of the 2nd or maybe the 3rd, there was a humongous storm, like flooded the whole main meadow and had trees crashing down. And I don't know if Shmuel's in this group, or if Shmuel, I remember his tent got washed out, and it was a whole experience. And my tent got totally washed out, so I ended up under the tarp. We had like a big tarp up, and kind of just slept on the ground there. And early in the morning, it was just me and Moish awake. And I asked him, I said, what is this? Why are you so harsh towards me and Tivia, who showed up here to have a good time, but I don't know what exactly this is? And he gave me a long schmooze, and he said, "Listen, if you come from a yeshiva background, you come from this kind of background, you have a big achrayus, and I expect you." He gave me this I don't remember exactly, but I remember the strength of the way he said it. He said, "Listen, you have an achrayus wherever you're going to be sharing and not just be taking from the places you're going to." He said, "Listen, a lot of people show up to Jerusalem camp, and they're just here to take what can be offered." And he said, "No, I saw you guys show up. I know you guys are yeshiva boys. You gotta be sharing and giving and offering." It was a strong moment with him. As I'm sure a lot of you know, he had a way of expressing it that felt a little complex, but over the years, it's sat with me a lot, and it's something I've thought about a lot. And we had the chance to chat via Facebook over the years about different things. The only other time and then I left the next morning, because I didn't know that there was something on the 4th. I think the 3rd in the morning we went back to Brooklyn, and it wasn't until afterwards that some new friends "You left before the 4th." And then I saw Moish again at 2014 in Utah, where there was a big kitchen, and Moish was back there, and I really saw him in his element that gathering, which was very beautiful. And it's just something, and the way what he told me that morning has sat with me for many years as a kind of inspirational moment that took a while to understand. I didn't really understand when I was, how old was I then? 20, maybe 20, 21. I don't think I really understood. But now, a decade later, I really understand what he's saying, and it's a lesson that I've kind of enjoyed taking over the years. So sending blessings to Moish on his journey over the rainbow. I saw many friends. I was able to see many friends who have befriended over the years at gatherings. People not really affiliated with Jerusalem camp have been sharing in the Rainbow Memorial groups on Facebook their memories of him, and it was really interesting to see the kind of spread of his influence and friendships across these different groups that weren't really affiliated with Jew camp at all. So yeah, may his Shabbat have an Aliyah, and his Zikaron always be a blessing for everyone.
Amen. Amen. Having somebody in the chat is having a hard time reading. Who is that? RS. Who can't raise her hand. She lived
Oh,
upstairs.
I figured out how to raise my hand, but I think
okay, there you
Leah
are.
Rivka, yeah, it's okay. But yeah, I lived my Shana Rishona in the apartment right over Moish in Nachlaot. I actually found that apartment through Eliyahu Parker, who's also here in the Shiva, who was roommates with Moish then. He did not stay, but then just Moish was downstairs, and so I had Moish for many Shabbat meals. I got to spend a lot of time with him. I also had the zchut to visit him in the hospital a few times. not recently, but like a year ago, I think. And my brain does not work in this beautiful way that everyone's brain works, that you remember stories and you have things to share. But he definitely made, an impact. And my son, my son spent some time with him also when he was in the hospital. And, I'm really grateful that he got the chance to feel, as Judah mentioned, that, spirit, of it's an interesting combination of the, warmth and, seeing the potential, but also a certain sharpness of, go on, do what you have to do, which it's definitely an inspiration. But it looked to me, I'm not sure if she was trying to raise her hand also. There was someone else, Leah Rivka. Were you raising your hand or were you waving? Yeah.
I think Yoshua Koren is raising his hand.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Yoshua, are you there?
I am here.
Brother, so nice to see you.
Hi, Lorelei.
Hi.
So Moish has a very, I can lower my hand, I guess, now that I'm talking. Very special part in my life. Mention a story or two. I met Moish in 1997. I met some guy at a Rosh Hashanah meal in the Old City by Rabbi Gestetner when he was living in the Old City. And he brought me back to his roommate's place where he was living with Alps. And Moish is there for like a Motzi Shabbos, and we're making Havdalah. And like everyone's sitting in a circle, passing around bowls. And Moish like starts like going into hit like a big long arichus of a story about tripping at a dead show. And going on and on and on and on and on. And then he looks at me, he's like, but you know what, brother? He's like, the Torah is a much bigger trip than all of that. I was like, whoa. 17-year-old Yoshua was like, whoa. Who is this guy? And I remember before, when I guess I was 18, he would be like, brother, we got to show you around Shlomo land. And Shlomo land was Nachlaot, and he would like bring me around to the different Chevre and show me what's going on in Shlomo land. And at the time, I was like, I gotta move here. I gotta move to Nachlaot. And before I left Israel that year, he said, you got to meet my friend. He lives in like Far Rockaway. He's got all these tapes. He's got like all the dead shows. He's got tons of tapes. You got to go meet him. And I kind of set it aside. I didn't really put it together. A friend of mine in college did introduce me to the Levine family, right? But like already before I met Stephen, met Nava, Moish had like planned to see, like, I was like, when I went there, I was like, oh, this is the guy who Moish was like, you got to meet. He has all these tapes. And in terms of my relationship, that I feel there's a complexity to the semi-familial relationship with Moish. When Moish came to my wedding, and Ufruf, of course. But I remember, and everyone, this is Mama Shigavalt. There was at the Shlomo Shul, and he got up during Shachris and he was saying some Divrei Torah. I'm pretty sure it was during Shachris. And this woman gets up and she starts screaming. Mom is screaming. She's like, alarm! And he's like, whoa, sister, you're right, but not right now. She's like, oh, I'm right. And so but being as close to Moish as I was, and as after moving to Israel and living in Shlomo land, as I had always dreamed to, here in Nachlaot for now 19 years. It was complex. It was complex because Moish needed a lot of help, and Moish turned to me for a lot of financial help, and support, and that actually created a rift between us. It helped. It kind of drove us apart because it was tricky for him. It was tricky for him, and needing to ask for help, and not feeling that it was fair. Like, why should he have to ask for help? And also navigating, like, where Moish was always super duper important to me, and where his boundary crossing, which is a Moish thing that was really easy to do, to cross boundaries, how to protect that within my family, where it's like, hey, we have to be careful here. And I, the unpleasant memories are things that are not shayach for this. But what I was always holding with myself was like, deep love and care and appreciation, and being able to try to hold space and boundaries to somebody who didn't have space and boundaries. But I think it was oftentimes Moish's ability. I saw somebody post it to I think it was, I saw Yaakov Dov's post to Facebook. He's like, when you're on, right? And that was like a real big thing for me, that why, like, I never lost the heart and connection, and why, like, Moish was always a part of my life, even when the boundaries were crossed and I had to, like, sort of like make space, I wasn't able to do it. I was like kind of, secretly still in Moish world, while sort of setting my family in sort of a protective space that was right for them. And so, really in, for all that he and I have been through, that was like, with all of its complexities, I really honor and value and appreciate the positive things that he brought in to my life. And that's something I want to share. It's just like, Moish was Makari of me by, like, telling, like, stories of how Judaism is the highest thing in the world. And that is not just a nostalgia. That's something that's mamish always been with me, from that point in my life as a turning point to where I am today. And it's been a big blessing to be with him in life like that.
Hashem. Thank you, Shua. I just want to say, I remember standing at Zipporah Levine's wedding with Moish, and we looked at each other and we both said how incredibly lucky and undeserving we both are to be honorary members of the Levine family. Because I think that's what you were describing, was like, he's part of the family and everything that goes with it. So
well, both part of the family and not part of the family at the same time. It's
right, the honorary member.
Honorary member.
We were the honorary, and thank God, Baruch Hashem, it meant so much to him. That more than I can say without embarrassing everybody. So thank you for your share. Okay, we've got a bunch of people who are raising their hand. That's really good. I just want to check in with Judy Brott, who was just able to join us, because I know I promised her that she could go. Are you there, Judy? Are you able to unmute yourself and speak? Okay, and Leah Rivka, yes, I'm gonna let definitely. Okay, why don't Leah Rivka, are you there? Can you go and then we can find Judy and see how that goes? And then Amelia, Eliyahu, Sammy, Reb Sammy, Andy, Jonathan, and somebody whose name I can't read in Hebrew, Katz. Okay. Oh, Andy, let me do
Katz is Amy. That's
Okay.
Amy and Bob.
Amy. Okay. Oh, great. Oh, hi, you guys. Baruch Hashem. Leah Rivka, my dear darling, are you there? Judy, are you there?
I'm here. I
Okay.
just got, yeah. Wow. We had the opportunity to go to the new National Library right behind the Knesset. It's a marvelous building, and there was a fabulous concert. So I'm glad that everybody's still on. And I really would like to pay tribute to Moish, who the Kadosh Baruch Hu sent to be a shaliach, to be a big part of my life. But I would like to say first that our Rebbe, Reb Shlomo Zatzal, in his majesty, whenever we would give him a, I don't know, tissue or a glass of water or anything small, anything large, whatever, he used to say, "Oh, you saved my life." And we used to laugh, like, yeah, right. I'm just giving you a tissue. So what does that have to do with saving your life? But there was an occasion that Baruch Hashem, yes, something small saved my life. And as a lot of you know, we live in Nachlaot, and for about 8.5 years, I was looking for a house to live in, and Baruch Hashem, somebody told me that in the Shuk there's a fabulous realtor, and he knows every nook and cranny of Nachlaot, and he'll probably be able to help. So I made an appointment, and I wanted to meet this fabulous realtor. I was so excited. It was on a Wednesday, and the appointment was at 1:15. I was so excited that I thought, okay, so I'll go early. I went to the Shuk, and his office was on Rehov HaTapuach. I really lived in Yerushalayim for a long time. I never knew that those little streets in the Shuk had names. And that's when I found out that they do. So I know that there is Agas, and then I found out Hatapuach, et cetera. Anyway, when I went early, he wasn't there yet. So I thought, okay, so I'll go home, and a few minutes after 1, I'll make my way, because as probably a lot of you know, we live very close to the Shuk. So, okay, so it was like 4 or 5 after 1 o'clock, and I'm just about to leave, and there's a knock on the door. And who's there? Moish. He says, "Oh, I'm so happy that you're home. I need a cup of coffee," said Moish, "and I need to leave." So he said, "But I don't care. I need to go to a very important meeting. I didn't sleep all night, and you have to give me a cup of coffee." So I said, "Okay, Moish, let's compromise. I'll put the water on. I filled the kettle with water, put it on the gas. I put the cup out on the counter, and the coffee and the spoon, et cetera, and I gave him our key, I told him where to hide the key. So, and I left, and I didn't go more than, let's say, 15 steps, maybe at the most 20 steps. And I hear this tremendous boom. And things start flying in the air. Little pieces of, I don't know what it was, like tiny pieces of tar or something, and other things were just flying in the air. And then I heard people running and screaming. And Mamash, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether I should go toward the shuk or go home. And I don't know how long I was standing still over there, trying to make up my mind. But then at last, I went back, and just the whole scene of and hearing people running and screaming, it was pretty awful. Finally, I called the realtor about 15 or so minutes later, 20 minutes later, and he says, don't come here, everything happened right here. The bombs were planted at both ends of Rehov HaTapuach, one in the open street of the shuk and one in the closed street of the shuk. And Mamish would have been right there at that time had Moish not wanted a cup of coffee. So, Mamish, I thank the Kadosh Baruch Hu for sending Moish just at that moment, so I could even have this host of continuing my life again. So thank you so much, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Thank you so much, Shlomo, for teaching us to know what it means to save each other's lives. And thank you, Moish. I hope that you're just dancing with everybody up there. I can just see the whole scene, like the gang up there is getting pretty full. So I'm so grateful to be a part of this Chevre. So Shkoya, thank you for telling my story.
Baruch Hashem, I'm crying. I love you so much, Judy. Fantastic.
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem.
I just sending you the biggest hug.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sending you the biggest hug. Amish, we're waiting for everybody who's not here yet.
I know.
And I know that you're doing whatever you're supposed to be doing, wherever you're doing it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be there. So I understand. But I think that Hashem is stretching us. And I hope that we'll be flexible enough. We'll be stretching to be able to do what we need to do. Mamish, Hashem is giving us the biggest gift to be a part of something that's huge, that is needing to be coming down. Mamish, I love all of you. Thank you.
We love you too. Baruch Hashem.
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem. Andy, are you there? Andy Alprin? Are you there, sweetie?
I'm here.
Hi, sweet. My dear, dear friend. I love so much. Miss you.
Love you too. I feel like nothing following that story, which I'd never heard before. That completely mind-blowing thing. I just wanted to be really quick because of Yoshua met Moish at my apartment. That's what he was talking about. And I remember that night very vividly, actually, from 1997, or I think it was. It also actually ties in with what Judy just said, because Moish said to me so many times, Alps, you're saving my life, you don't even realize. And I didn't realize. I really felt like I was doing small things, whatever it was I could do to help him out. And for him, it was saving his life. And I know that Yoshua and Moish and whatever, I don't want to go into it all, but you said it. But one thing that I used to say was that in relating to Moish's financial difficulties was that someone needed to pay him just to be Moish, and that he could just do his thing and he would get a salary for that. And I guess maybe that's what made him who he was in a way. But if this is, I guess, a challenge for us or for the world, like how does someone who doesn't exactly fit into the normal world of making a living survive? And maybe with all the changes that are hopefully coming through this period that we're going through, with the war and all the changes that will hopefully come through this, that somehow the world and our society could figure that thing out. And just that it's hard for me to imagine my life without Moish in it, because he's been since 1989, which for some people is not that, go a lot farther back, and some people not that far back, but that's it, Lorelei.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting on your back porch with you and Moish and Neely smoking a bowl right now and looking at the spot sunset. And our friend,
it's just right out that door right there.
There you go, right outside that door. And
we have a new wood stove, just so you know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you got rid of the one I burned my skirt on.
It's in the basement. It's in the basement.
Excellent. With my Machzon stuff, probably still. Excellent. Okay.
Well, we just gave away some of your Sifrei Kodesh and some of your books, which were, someone freaked out that they had Linda Goodman's love signs. I didn't even know that was in the box. And it was like you saved their life. Some random person in spot, just so you know.
That's part of my job. Baruch Hashem.
All right. I love all you. I'm muting myself.
Okay. Who do we have? We've got a bunch of people raising their hand. I wanted to see if Eliyahu Parker, you've been on hand raised for a long time. Are you there?
I am indeed here, and thank you, Lorelei.
Well, thank you for wearing that hat. It's the perfect.
It's Adar, and even in these times of sadness, we need to smile and to help other Yidden smile. So that's what the hat's for. And I think Moish would appreciate a jester's hat at his Shiva. It just seems kind of appropriate. I had like maybe 3 things I wanted to say about Moish. He was a very special part of my family. And I don't know that many people here in this setting would know this. But there were, I mean, everyone knows that there were multiple Moishes, but there was one Moish that the Parker family got to know that I don't think many people did. Moish spent Lela Seder with us for, I think, 6 or 7 years in a row. And the thing Moish liked about the Parker Seder was he didn't have to be Moish. There was no requirement. No one was expecting anything from him. He came, he participated. He didn't run over the boundaries. He didn't take over the whole world. He enjoyed being at a simple Seder with my little children. And I remember him crying when my now 20-year-old daughter sang Ma Nishtana when she was like 4 or 5. 2 more things. So just be aware that there was another side of Moish. Moish wasn't always the public, big, crazy stories, bigger than the Moish wasn't always bigger than life. Sometimes Moish was just a Ben Adam. And I loved them both. both the big Moish and just the simple Pashut Moish who enjoyed coming to my house because he didn't have to be Moish. Second very small thing was after he was living in Katsrin already, I lived in Shiloh, and getting from Katsrin to Shiloh with public transportation, nish pashut, not the simplest thing in the world. And when my 18-year-old made his bar mitzvah 5 years ago, he asked Moish to come. And Moish schlepped from Katsrin to Shiloh to lead the davening. And Shiloh is not the moshav, to put it mildly. And I had, there's not a lot of Chevre in Shiloh. And so for the davening, everybody kind of freaked out because he did a Shlomo davening. Like he didn't do a 5-hour Shlomo davening, but he actually put some kavana and some love into his tefillah. And as soon as it was over, he hopped on the bus and went back to Katsrin because it was a hell of a schlep. He schlepped down to daven Shachris for my son's bar mitzvah, and then he left. The third thing is really hard for me to say, and I appreciate what Yehoshua said earlier because it helps me a lot without having to repeat what Yehoshua said. I had a complicated and complex relationship with Moish. And I just want to say here in this public forum, something that I didn't and wasn't able to say to him, and that I am Moichel. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Eliyahu. Beautiful. Okay, let's see. Amelia, I was just going to call on you. Can you unmute yourself?
Hello. I am glad I was able to get in and say something. Moish, he very much changed the course of my life. I was 18 and I was at the Rainbow Gathering in Allegheny, and I don't even know if I can really say anything now. But I guess there's one thing that I was very confused when I heard that he died, because I wasn't sure if he was family or family, because I became a part of his whole family. So it's just I raised my hand after Josh because he said something to that effect and it really resonated. I don't know, I miss Moish when we got along. I miss the Moish from when we got along, but of course I didn't move to Israel, so I didn't see him for a while. Anyway, it's lovely to be here. Thank you for letting me speak.
I'm really glad you could be here. Where are you in the world?
Oh, I'm in the New York City.
Okay. New York City. Okay. Baruch Hashem. Thank you so much for sharing. Really momish. Reb Sammy. You have your hand, your hand is up. Do you want to turn your video on?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Laura, for organizing this, and just, you know, one story is more powerful than the other, and it's just the covet that we're giving, of course, is a fraction of who he was and the covet he gave to us, to everyone. I mean, I don't think, but for his rebbe, I knew another human being in the world who was so one-on-one connected with people. and so impacted their lives so positively. And I've heard people speak about the complexity of relationship with him. And Shlomo said it so beautifully. He said, the whole world says, live up to your potential. I say, go beyond it. And that's who Moish was. And he demanded that of us. And, a lot of things were cryptic with him. And I'm sure some of those challenge moments for different of us, including myself, were some of the cryptic, mystic moments. He lived in a different consciousness. He went beyond. I may have been assistant manager, whatever the term was in title. He was, in fact, the way he stepped into Reb Shlomo's life, the way he stepped into the Chevre's life. Obviously, I saw him most at the shul, but I saw him in Eretz Yisrael, and I saw him a little bit in the Rainbow World. He was always ready to assist beyond anything that one can expect, and beyond giving advice. He infinite situations gave advice to me and said, do this, do that. But before he said it, and before I could think of doing it, he'd already done it. And when I think of the worlds that Moish, somebody mentioned his father. I remember he talked about his father. And it was a whole opposite world, that he came from, and the way he was able to sort of navigate the different worlds he lived in. And I'll say even right and left, politically, religiously, he so transcended it. He knew how to connect the people and knew how to take whatever theological, ideological differences may exist and just show how inconsequential they were, because we all created in HaKadosh Baruch Hu's image. And of course, that's the world that he so visioned and so wanted to create. And just again, listening to all the Chevre speak, all I can say is that Reb Shlomo said it so beautifully. He said that, what is Aliyah's? It was a long story, but I'll just cut to the chase. And he said, what is Aliyah's neshama? He said, Aliyah's neshama is that when somebody who left this world is no longer with us, and we share acts of that person down here on earth, and it inspires us to become better and to act greater, that neshama rises higher and higher every second. First of all, I know that Moshe's neshama in its own right is rising to the highest of places, but I am sure that the impact that he had on all of us is going to be mala his neshama, our neshamas, and maybe be blessed quickly. He lived a Mashiach vision. He was a Mashiach yid through and through. And, I'm sure up there, he and his holy Rebbe, Reb Shlomo and Reb Shalom, and all the other Rebbes up there are turning over worlds. But Moish's way of turning over worlds is different than what maybe they've seen in heaven before. So may we here on earth be blessed. First of all, may Eretz Yisrael be protected in the strongest way. I know his kesher there was beyond anything describable. And I remember the pushes he gave me to come and live and be there, and how he so wanted the whole world. He based the Philly Yikari L'chol Ha'amen. He really wanted everybody to be there. May we quickly be able to see his beautiful vision for the world that he really created. I'll just end with one beautiful Shlomo story. Mendele Vitebska was Pesach night, one night. I don't think it was a Seder, if Shlomo said. It was one night Pesach. Mendele is sitting in, not Tzfat, but help me out. The city next to Tzfat. Come on.
Tveria. He was in Tveria.
Thank you. God bless you. He's sitting in Tveria. God bless you. Sure. Thank you. Sitting in Tveria and sitting with his Hasidim, and he's elevating them to the highest level. And somebody walks in and says, Rebbe, I hear noise outside. I think Mashiach just came. And Reb Mendele Vitebska walks out of his Hasidic gathering, walks out into the street, takes a deep breath, inhales the air, raises his ear up to really listen to the sound, and comes back and pronounces to the stunned Hasidim, Mashiach has not come. So there was a wise Alec Chassid there who said, Rebbe, you have to go outside to see Mashiach didn't come? I could have told you that from in here. What was your chachma? What was your wisdom? He said, let me tell you something. You're so wrong. He said, I had to go outside because mamish in here Mashiach came. In here we created those Mashiach moments. But when I walked out and I heard the sound, and it wasn't the holy, unifying, harmonious sound of music, of Torah, of love, but it was the sound of violence. And I inhaled the air, and it was so polluted with hatred. Out there he didn't come, but in here he came. Moish was one of those people who really gave us Mashiach taste, Mashiach moments. And I think we can all live off it. And we should quickly be zochah to that world. The whole world needs it more than ever right now. And whatever transitions are happening in heaven right now, may they quickly become manifest in the sweetest, best ways here on earth, in the spirit of Moshe's vision, of his Rebbe's visions. And good Purim, everybody. Good Purim. May Purim, the Hapachu of Purim quickly come to the world. Good Purim, everybody. Good Purim.
Amen. Good Purim. Good Purim. Oh. Baruch Hashem. I feel like I need to ask Leah Rivka Sand if she is there, because I lost her somewhere. Are you there, Leah Rivka? Can you unmute your microphone? I don't know if she can hear me. Okay, well, hopefully we'll hear from her. There was a little communication glitch. Okay, Jonathan Boyer. Can you unmute yourself?
Oh, yeah, let me unmute myself. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
See
you're
if I can
unmuted. You're unmuted, but
figure this out. There I am here.
we
Hi,
don't
everybody.
see. Hi, your video's not on though. Could you turn it
I'm on
on?
a different, my video's on a different feed.
Oh,
If you go to
okay.
gallery,
All right.
I'm
All right.
somewhere else. I'm sorry. I'm using my phone and my computer. It's a very complicated sort of thing.
Okay, well,
Boyer. Hey, holy brother, Yom Tov. How's it going, everybody? So
I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead. You're not supposed to say hi to people at a Shiva.
Oh, I'm sorry. But at Moish's Shiva, anything goes. So anyway, I don't know who knows me or not. I'm Jonathan Boyer. I'm one of the founders of the Happy Minyan here on the west coast of the United States of America in Los Angeles, or Smele, as our good friend used to say. I just want to, our holy brother Rob said something earlier that kind of breaks my heart, that Moish felt a little alone towards the end of his life, and I haven't been in touch with him the last few years, and I apologize. I asked for mechila. But I want to say, as I've been watching the last 2 hours on this Zoom of about 100 people coming in and out, you've got mamish. It's the Chevre from all over the world. I mean, it brings chills to my legs and my body to see all the people who came to give love and shine the light back to our holy brother Moish in the way he shined the light on us. So I just feel like it's really amazing. And if you look, if you're from the Shlomo world, it's really the who's who. It's not just anybody, it's everybody. And it's really truly amazing to see. I like others had many run-ins with Holy Brother Moish, and I met him, not unsurprising, at a Grateful Dead show in Las Vegas, Nevada. This was pre-Happy Minyan days. This is when the Dead finally went back to Nevada for the first time, to Las Vegas, and they got Sting to open. And Stewie Wax, who was on here earlier, Stewie Wax and I are the kind of the founders of the Happy Minyan here with a group of others. So Reb Stewie and I, before the Happy Minyan, it all happened at Stewie's house. And when Stewie was, we had Shabbos at house that were between 30 people and 70 people. And his apartment really held about 25 comfortably. But in any event, we decided to go to Vegas, and we invited everybody. The whole Chevre from LA is pre-Happy Minyan, and we got a bunch of people to go, and we got tickets, and we got a place to go. Lisa Mechanic, I saw here earlier. I think she was on that holy trip. We even got a fridge in the room, not a little fridge, a mini fridge. I'm talking about a gigantic fridge for all the food we were bringing in. So we had everything set, and it was like Thursday, and I'm like, Stewie, we don't have anyone to daven. Who's going to lead services? He's like, don't worry, it'll be fine. And I know I brought it up once before, but I kept bugging him. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Don't worry. So we get to Vegas. We get everything settled. We're at the show. It's Friday afternoon, and the sun's starting to set. And I'm like, Stewie, who's going to daven? How are we going to do this? So anyway, don't worry. It's going to happen. So there's the set break, and he comes back, and he looks at me. He goes, "It's all set." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I got someone. You don't know him, but I got a chazan." I'm like, "A chazan? What do you mean a chazan?" I go, "Don't worry about it. Everything's set." So anyway, I'm at the show looking through binoculars, and in totally the opposite side of us, up in the corner, is this guy spinning. And he's spinning so magically. It's like he's completely in tune with the music. The way the music flowed, the ups, the downs, the faster the music, the faster he went, the slower the music, the slower he went, totally in tune with the music, just like this holy brother was totally in tune with the earth and everybody else around him. In any event, fast forward 10 minutes before Shabbos, I'm like, "Stewie, who's this chazan?" He goes, "Don't worry, he'll be here." The guy opens the door. It's the guy I've been staring at across the whole venue. There's 60,000 people there, and I'm staring at Moish Geller. And Moish comes in, and not only is he a chazan, he's mamish a rebbe. And as you all know, I mean a rebbe. He led the davening, he led the singing, he gave over Torahs. This is a guy I met 10 minutes before across the stadium. And it was truly amazing. And you know, Lahavdil, Reb Sami said something earlier about a very big connection, and David mentioned it earlier too, about Reb Shlomo and our holy brother Moish. And once again, Lahavdil, but I'm working on another project, and there's these two guys who don't know Shlomo, and I'm trying to teach them about Shlomo, and I sent them books, and I sent them videos, and this morning I woke up and I sent them both an email. I said, if you want to see what Reb Shlomo created in this world, you got to go to this Zoom Shiva. I said, I guarantee you the stories you hear are mamish Shlomo Carlebach stories, walking through the world, not knowing where he's going, but meeting someone on the road at Rainbow, or meeting someone on the road on Pico, or meeting someone in the airport, or wherever it was, and connecting him to who that soul needed to be connected to, whether it was a story or a human being or some shekels. Moish was really mamish gewalt. He was mamish on another level. You know, after the Dead shows, Stewie said, you know, Stewie and I worked in the music business together. He said, you know, Reb Moish is going to come stay in LA for a couple of days. And I said, that's great. Where's he going to stay? I said, he's in our office. So that's no problem. So it was 1, 2, 3 days, I figured. So it wasn't 3 days. It wasn't a week. It wasn't 3 weeks. Reb Moish stayed about 3 months. And he stayed on the couch. He was just, you know, everyone here knows him. This is Mamish Moish in his highest. And so before the Happy Minions, Stewie used to say, you know, he's in the music business. He used to say, what do I do during the week? He says he fills his week finding people to come to his Shabbos table, and he does some music business in between. And so truly, Moish would leave the office before we got there, and he'd come back after we left. And every Shabbos, it would be filled up with these human beings that Moish met all over LA. It was unbelievable. Holy souls who knew they were Jewish, he didn't know they were Jewish, who were searching for this or that. He was collecting human beings and giving them life and sharing Torah and light. And it was amazing. And the truth be known, you know, this is before, you know, this is a long time ago. So when you had to check your messages at work, you had to call work, wait for the message, and then press in your code and hear the messages. So you'd call in, you know, we're in the music business. So 12, 1 in the morning, you'd call in to check messages, and Moish would answer, hello, midnight music. And we're like, no, Moish, we're checking messages. And so we had to convince him not to answer the phone. But lo and behold, he did answer the phone. And I'm not kidding you, one day, I can't remember exactly what, Moish answered the phone, and it was an emergency, and he called us, and he mamish saved a life. Not very much on, not like the other story, but he mamish saved someone's life by answering that phone at that moment. So I always knew he was connected in the most holy of ways. As you know, everyone knows him, but there's very few people we know who was exactly who he was all the time. He was very committed to being Moish Geller, and I love that about him. And like others had said, he revealed things in us that we didn't know were there, and helped us confront things that we needed to confront. And wherever I traveled in the world, whether it was New York or San Francisco or LA, it was almost like Where's Waldo? Like Moish would show up. And he would add so much. Like the room would light up, the shul, Carlebach shul, or the Beacon Hotel where Stewie and I would stay, or wherever we happen to be. And in the end, I just want to end with two quick things. One is three quick things. One is I've loved every story here. It's really so heartwarming and incredible to hear and see everybody still going and see all the miracles in the world still going. And so Moish Pesach, he came, he led a few seders here in Los Angeles. And the last time I think he was here in LA, another miracle happened. We had some Baal Tshuvas at the Happy Minyan who had come and he called me like a couple days before Pesach and said, I'm in big trouble. I said, what's that? He said, we koshered our kitchen. The whole place is totally kosher. We got all the kosher food. We have everything together. We invited guests. And I looked at my wife. I said, I can't lead a Seder. I can barely get through the Siddur. How am I going to lead a Seder? What am I going to do? So he calls me in a panic. And I said, don't worry, something will happen. I don't know, about an hour later, the phone rings. It's Moish Geller. Oh, holy brother, I'm coming to LA. I don't want to make a big thing. I just want to be low key. I'm just looking for a Seder. I said, oh, brother, do I have a place for you? So the next thing you know, I made the shidduch. The two of them, they were, the whole family, they were together for the whole Pesach. He came in, he left. He literally did miracles wherever he went. And just to end, a true story. Yesterday I was at Mincha Marav, and there was a guy visiting from out of town, and he's asking all these questions about LA and this and that and whatnot. And when you run a shul for many years, you always have to check on the people who show up. It's there's Chevre who are all on the end, and then there's holy Chevre who are on the other side of the end. In any event, this gentleman I was checking out, asking questions and whatnot, and I mentioned that I was one of the founders of the Happy Minyan, the Carlebach shul. He goes, oh, I know two people at the Carlebach shul. And he mentions two guys, and one guy's named Abe Rice. I don't know if any of you know him. I don't know if he got on this or not. And somebody else. And I said, oh, they're in Miami. They're the Carlebach shul in New York. They've been in Israel. And I said, oh, that's cool. And I said, oh, maybe they know our friend Moish Geller, who just passed away. He probably knew him from Rainbow. And the guy goes, Rainbow? That's where he absolutely became Jewish. And I said, well, then he absolutely knows Moish Geller. So he texts him right back. He said, holy brother, I knew him for sure. So wherever you go, Moish Geller's there. And I like what someone else said, that we should all take a piece of Moish, shine it back up to him in heaven, and carry the good things and carry all of it. And please spread the Torah of Reb Shlomo and our holy brother Moish in the greatest of ways. And it was a pleasure to know you, Moish, and thanks for letting me say a few words.
Thank you so much. That was the best. I love it. Thank you so much, Jonathan. And love to Stewie. I think we lost him, but we will be making this recording available to the world. Okay. How about the Katzes? Are you all there, Amy and Bob?
I'm here. Hold on.
Hello. There you are.
I have very little to say, and I can start with saying, yes, I had a very complicated relationship with Moish in New York and in Israel. But I want to say, and it's important to say, my kids loved Moish. And when we moved to Israel, my son, my oldest, was 8 years old. And it was very difficult. And he was literally under the table and wouldn't come out from under the table. And Moish, when we first moved in, we first got here, he called. We hadn't, if we had anything to unpack yet, because our lift was delayed, but he came for us and he stayed with us Shabbos for Israel, second Shabbos, I don't remember. But he was our first guest. And my son was under the table and he wouldn't come out. I think he had been to school one day and it was an awful experience. And Moish went under the table with him, with a turkey under the table. And he mamish was able to talk him to get him out of under the table. That's was really something. Then later on, I just want to say he also helped my son, Eliyahu. Eliyahu and Chaya, my two oldest, they were at the funeral. They were both, both soldiers. They both. Chaya was down in Raz and actually Mona. Eliyahu was in Janine, and but they went to the funeral because Moish was so important to them, and he so Eliyahu, he helped Eliyahu write his bar mitzvah speech. It was like no bar mitzvah speech that was ever given, I think. And the people who were there, they all said this is like no bar mitzvah speech I've ever heard, and they love this, whatever. And there's one more thing. We have another son who's has a lot of psychiatric issues. And at my daughter's wedding, he came to the wedding, and he was wearing soundproof headphones, and so she was hear nothing. And there's a wonderful picture of Moish sat with him at the wedding, and I don't know what they said, but he had my son engaged for hours, and it was really something. It was a real gift he had, and like I say, my relationship with him was certainly a family relationship. Was certainly very complicated, to say the least. And that's all I want to say is that he had a big squist that he helped. And I get the impression that Moish and I are the same age, 3 months difference. And I get the impression that from the people here that most of the people are 20 years younger than Moish, or more than that. And he was as a father figure, and it's no coincidence that he and his father share the same yahrzeit. Anyway, that's what I want to say. We should all be blessed, and he should have the neshama should go up, and we should say good things about him. And it's all. Be well.
Thank you, Bob. Listening to this makes me think that he was a father figure. He was a father to the young people and a child to the older people.
That's a good way of putting it.
And maybe our grown-up selves had a problem sometimes with what we were hoping was going to be his grown-up self, but was more of his child self. But in retrospect, Baruch Hashem, right? Baruch Hashem. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Shmuel L. You've been on hold there for a long time. Are you there?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, Moishe, I always like the band Fish. They do cover of Vinu Malkeinu, and they play Yerushalayim Shel Zahav and a Tikva. Fish is an awesome band. Never mind that Jerry Garcia dude. He was just Grateful Dead's okay. And Moshka used to tell me that he went to a show with Reb Shlomo, and it was it kind of perplexed me. I remember the Rainbow Gathering in California, and like two Amarayim, you'd hear Zev and you'd hear Moish, discussing the hashkafas of what to do, and and it was amazing what they figured out and what they did. Rainbow Zion, like I really learned a lot from Rainbow Man, and I went to the gathering in Arkansas. Everyone was like, "Oh, you're gonna go to that?" Arkansas, really? The West Coast was always beautiful, always really grand. East Coast was a little bit rainy, but a little rainy, a little ticky, but still, there was a different type of Chevre that would show up on the East Coast and the West Coast. But Arkansas isn't out their place to begin with. And he did Rainbow Zion that year. He got the kids from Kerrville, and Shabbos day he gave a pilpul. Abraham's tent had no walls, and that everybody should be welcome. That when you set a tarp, it has no walls. Everyone's welcome. Everyone should come. And there was a couple of Brooklyn Chevre that showed up from the Haim. And they were like, okay, yeah, this is what the camp's doing, and they made it to far end of the gathering and found a camp with a nice Jewish name. And they were talking to them, very welcoming, very open, and Moishe's pilpul was repeated. Yeah, everyone's welcome. Come on over. So it happens to be a Southern Christian evangelist camp. They were huge. They had like 500 people. They showed up for a big Malava Malka. It was a went into Malava Malka. They showed up, and they broke us off one by two of them, and they were trying to change our opinions about things. And then it started to pour. It started raining like no tomorrow. We ran into the kitchen and hid out behind a barrier we set up to keep people out of the kitchen. And it poured. And supposedly there was a hurricane that was coming. The wrath of this storm was amazing. There was a 7-foot log. When I say 7-foot log, it was 7 feet high. It's taller than me. I'm a big guy. It was across the river, the Buffalo River, and it washed out. Like, that's how powerful the storm was. It snapped the log like two. And the circle on the 4th was nice, but the 4th it turned out to be a Thursday. And afterwards, we're like, what are we going to do? Like, we get out here and clean up. And everything was in rough shape after that storm, and people were absolutely broken. Half the people decided to go to
Hello? Can anybody hear me?
We can hear you, Lorelai.
Okay, I don't know what happened there.
Somehow I
to
got muted.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Okay, I don't know what happened. It looks like you're walking. Like, are you in?
Oh, I'm in my house.
Okay.
I think better when I'm pacing.
Okay.
I'm
just gonna say that so far this recording is 2.5 hours long, which is very long. So what I am going to do is just ask you to hold on for a minute, please.
All right.
I'm going to stop the recording and start a part 2 because I want to be able to upload these files in a place I can hold gigantic recordings. Okay, so hold on, please. Stop recording. Yes, I do want to stop my recording.